Hey everybody, welcome to Mama's Kitchen. Doesn't everybody cook in a ball cap? I don't know, but I have to confess, I'm not a kitchen queen like some of you ladies are. I cook because we have to eat. I would much rather be outside doing stuff, but there was something that I want to do today that I've been thinking about for a while and thought, I should share that. Because my mom and my husband and I recently did another, it's a urine mycotoxin test, which we have known for a while that we had some issues with mold because of exposures that we've had in the past. And so when we got the results of that test back, it was kind of like, okay, we got some more work to do. So we talked to Dr. John St. Rose at Eden's Holistic Connections in Mesa, Arizona. He's the one that helped me get over Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And he recommended that we all do another candida cleanse because all three of us had a mycotoxin called gliotoxin. And sometimes candida can actually produce gliotoxin. And even if it's not producing it, if you're working on killing off your mold, the candida kind of gets a little happy and kind of takes over, and when that happens, it causes gliotoxin from gliotoxin is particularly made by aspergillus, the mold aspergillus, and so if you're actually really hitting those molds hard, it can cause your gliotoxin levels to spike because this candida is really growing. Dr. Jill Krista has a little video that explains that a little bit better than I can. But what I want to do today is share with you a bread that I kind of raise with hydrogen peroxide, 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide. And because it's very time sensitive, parts of this video I will have to kind of pause and say I'm going to do this and I'll be right back. So I'll do the best that I can to share with you. And why I'm making this bread, this is a recipe that I got from a friend of mine, and I am going to kind of modify this a little bit. She uses baking powder instead of the food grade hydrogen peroxide. I made this, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and I really enjoyed it. You could kind of call it a colon sweet bread because it's got a lot of stuff in it that helps to clean the colon, like ground flax and psyllium husk and stuff. So what she does is 1 cup of ground flax, 1 cup of almond flour, ½ cup of psyllium husk, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 cups of warm water, and ½ cup of tahini. Of course, you mix the wet and dry ingredients separately and then combine. And then you put parchment paper in a sheet pan. This is kind of a sheet bread and not a loaf bread. And then you bake it for 40 minutes on 375. I'm going to do most of that, but a couple of changes that I'm going to make because I don't tolerate almonds that well, and I think more than anything it's the stuff they spray on them, even organic almonds. So I am going to replace the almond flour with a little bit of cassava flour and a little bit of organic red lentil flour. And I'm going to double this recipe because I'm kind of a once and done kind of cook. I want to cook a bunch so I don't have to do it again so soon. And instead of the tahini, which my body also kind of reacts, I'm introducing tahini now, but I try to only eat it maybe once or at the most twice a week. So I do very well with avocado, and so I am going to use avocado oil, but I'm only going to use like half of what she calls for simply because I don't want to put a cup of oil in this bread, so I'm only going to use half of the oil. So we'll see how it turns out. This is an experiment that I'm bringing you along with me. When I made it before, I also doubled the recipe, but I can't remember exactly everything that I did. But I know I did not use the red lentil flour. I used a combination of cassava flour and arrowroot flour. But on that candida cleanse that I mentioned, we're not going to use grains for, I think it's 3 weeks. And so to have a nice kind of breadish type thing, I thought I would try this. So let me get some of this stuff mixed up and I'll be right back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my dry ingredients and I'm going to cut in the oil, pre-mix the oil in, because when you use food grade hydrogen peroxide, it's kind of time sensitive. You have to get it in there, mix it up, get it in the pan and get it in the oven, because the reaction, and you can see the reaction, I'll try to put the camera on it whenever I'm mixing that in so you can actually see what's taking place there. So, be right back. Okay, now here we go. Whenever I made this before, I used 1 teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide, food grade, 35% hydrogen peroxide per recipe. So it's 2 teaspoons. I may not need that much, I don't know, but that's what I use. This is kind of a trial basis here. So what I'm going to do, I have my 4 cups of warm water here. I'm not sure if it's showing in the camera, but I have 4 cups of warm water here. And I'm going to add the hydrogen peroxide to this water. 1, 2 teaspoons. Okay? Now, I'm going to have to work kind of fast. What I do with my cap. There we go. This has to be stored in the refrigerator, this food grade hydrogen peroxide. Okay. I'm going to stir this in. You know that flax really absorbs water quite a bit. You can see it bubbling. I'm not sure if this is showing up on the camera, but if you've ever poured hydrogen peroxide on a wound and you know how it bubbles, that's exactly what it's doing in my pan right here. Okay? And the flax is absorbing the water, soaking it up, also the psyllium. And it's kind of puffing up a little bit. I've got the oven preheated to 370. So now I'm going to quickly get my pan over here. Definitely didn't need that extra water that I had there. So I'll get my pan, pour this up in my pan, my cookie sheet. And so you don't have to break your neck, but you do have to be quick and have everything kind of ready ahead of time, because you want to catch it while it's doing that bubbling action and get that into the oven so that it puts air into the mixture. Again, this is not going to be like sliced bread or anything like that, but it is a nice light sheet bread. And so we'll spread that all around here and get this in the oven, and I will show you the finished product in just a little bit. So there we go. Ooh-wee. Of course, I was banging on the stove top. Forgot I had bread in the oven. So let's see. We got to do some gymnastics here. I'll have to get another thingy. The moment of truth. So I'll let that, it's got a ridge in it because what I did, I accidentally turned one of my cooling racks upside down. I told you I'm not a kitchen queen. Okay. It's better to let it cool a little bit before you do this. It may need to bake a little bit longer I left it in a little longer than you're supposed to, but I like my stuff super done. But I just want to show you, again, it would do better if it was cooled. But it kind of raised up, it's light and fluffy. So I'm going to put some pecan butter on this piece, and I'll give you the taste test in just a minute. So I have a cute little guinea pig. What do you think?
I don't even know what kind of bread it is. My wife just asked me to taste it, so here goes.
Be honest.
Well, I actually like it, but I don't know if it's baked all the way though. It's a little gooey inside, but it tastes really well. I like it. And it's kind of the crust on the outside is pretty firm. I like that. A little crunchy, but inside a little soft, but it tastes really good.
Very good. I left it in there for about 45 minutes. So I'm going to put it back in there for a little bit just because I like my stuff well done. So we'll cook it a little bit longer. Okay, so we put it back in the oven. I raised the temperature 15 degrees and we put it back in there for 15 minutes. So now my cutest taste tester is going to let me know what he thinks.
Well, I still don't know what's in it. I've not been told. All I know is it's grain-free, but first time I tried it was with some pecan butter, so I'm going to try it just without it.
Sounds crunchy now, huh?
It's still soft inside. It's very good though. And it's not like it's soft, it needs to be cooked more. It's just, I think it's a little bit heavier bread. But
it's moist on the inside.
Okay, anyway, I like it. And I'm a spelt and kamut bread man. I like breads. But I would definitely eat this.
Okay, so there you have a grain-free, gluten-free, of course, hydrogen peroxide raised sheet bread. And what I would do differently is turn the temperature up to probably 400 degrees and try that at maybe 45 minutes and see how it does. Or just cook it initially for at least an hour. Alrighty, we'll see y'all next time.